Hello, my name's Fox9, aka Fox, and this is gonna probably be like, I don't know, Dominator Theory, Dominator's Wander, a path not taken, or something like that, or Wander's opposite. I don't know, but it's a Dominator Theory. Dang it, because one, she's like my favorite character in Wander over Yonder right now, because she's just awesome, and also I love that song. I've been like her song, freaking My Fair Haiti. I've listened to like 4 to 5 times already, which I love that song. But I want to try to, because a little while ago I did like a Wander Theory video about Wander's past. Which actually that got actually a lot of I actually got a few comments about it, like saying like, oh, but what about this, or like maybe Wander was Tumbleweed and stuff like that. I'm still going with that he's probably not Tumbleweed. Just a guess that he probably is Wander's mentor, but I'm assuming that Wander and Dominator probably have a lot in common. Maybe not exactly the same, like their planets blowing up, but I do feel like these two characters could be like mirror images of themselves, and like could be just at one point they had a path that was not taken. And like I would say Dominator would work more as an exact opposite to Wander more than Hater would to Wander, because no matter how much Hater says that he's a bad guy, which, yeah, he tried to take over the worlds and stuff like that. Spoilers for My Fair Haiti later, just so everyone's clear. Yeah, he wants to take over the world and stuff like that, but he doesn't want to destroy them. He wants to take over and take them over as his own, take it over as his own planets. He wants to basically become the top dog and whatnot. Which, yeah, that's kind of bad, but also then, if you go back into history, that's kind of how history happens also. Kind of like, how America was found for everyone in America, or how England was found. Well, yeah, I know England was that the original people from England. There were people in England, but then France came, and then France united, I think, the kingdoms or whatnot, and then there was a French king, but the French king said, and the only reason why English people don't speak French is because the French king said, screw it, you keep your language, I don't care. Don't ask me about any other country. I just got I just got the little bit that I know that I can remember, but this one. But that was just, but yeah, like if you look at the past, really the only thing that makes someone a bad guy in history is if you're on the losing side. But if there is no history, or the history is this galaxy exploded because this one person killed them all, you're going to be seen as the bad guy. Unless the galaxy was made up of Nazis and everyone else is not a Nazi. Only way I probably guess that. But not only, you know what I mean. But yeah, like, and here's the thing, like, and Dominator and Wander kind of have exact opposite ideals, where Wander tries to help people make them better and try to make the world a better place. Dominator just wants to destroy everything and basically just destroy it all. She just wants to destroy everything. And you might be saying, okay, that's exact opposites, but what about the whole past thing? Well, it's what I kind of theorize her motivations are to destroy everything. Where you have Wander, who we know, we haven't been told it, but we can guess from the Many Wanders episode, or the episode with all the Wanders, that Wander, there was a point in time there was one point in time where Wander was helpless. There was one point in time when he was scared, where through this one act, this one point in time, he decided he didn't want anyone else to feel that way. He wanted everyone else to be happy. He wanted them all to be he wanted them to be happy. He wanted them to have good, never to be frightened, never to be scared. We know this because of that episode. So, at least that's what I'm guessing. And so, I say, how does that translate to Dominator? Well, Dominator says she takes pleasure in destroying. Yes, she just wants to destroy everything. But also, she says a couple things in her song. She says, well, let me think. How should I put this? Again, I don't try to write these down and everything. I want to just give you my full whatever I have in my head at the moment. And then you all can theorize in the comments below, and we can make these theories a little bit better. Which has happened multiple times already. Dominator. I feel like Dominator probably had something similar because of a few things. One, she straight up says she's the bad guy, and if you ever heard, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard the quote. You are always the good guy of your own story. You're usually always the good guy in your own story. Unless you are trying to be the bad guy. Unless you were well, the quote ends that everyone's the good guy or the main character in their own story. Everyone's a good guy in their own story. No one likes to think that they're the bad guy. But Dominator straight up says she is the bad guy. Which usually means, kind of, I think, from maybe it's a psychological point, maybe, kind of, where if you're saying you're the bad guy, you're trying to be. You are trying to be the one who is going to be considered the bad guy, the one who's considered quote-unquote evil. And she wants to just destroy everything. And then another thing, in her song, she says, I want to take something, I want to take it away and then watch you cry. Which, yeah, that's evil, but kind of think, how could that have happened? What made her to where she wanted to watch other people cry? Possibly when she herself cried, possibly being picked on, possibly whatever it was that set her down this path, a point where she felt helpless. And that's kind of where they're coming from. Maybe Wander and Dominator don't have much in common, but there's most likely that same point. The same point in time where these two characters felt helpless, where they felt there was nothing they could do, and they try to set out to fix that. Wander set out on an exact opposite. Wander set out on the path to help worlds, to help people, to help everyone. Well, Dominator set out to make them miserable, to make them cry, to make them destroyed, to make up for everything that's bad that's happened to her. Two exact opposites, which I kind of like. Hater, Wander, these would be the two exact opposite sides of the spectrum. Wander would be exact white, while Dominator would be exact black. There would not, and I say this because that's kind of how they both come off. Wander is straight up good. He will do anything to be good. He doesn't have the whole ideal of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. He has the needs of the many, the needs of the few also what is it? Needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. So the needs of the few are equal to the needs of the many. And he tries to do that, tries to make everyone happy, even the people trying to kill him. Dominator is the F everyone, I'm going to kill you all. And she takes pleasure in this. Which I guess you could say, yeah, well, maybe she was a bully or something like that. No, because I kind of see that a little bit more and then I would say Hater is kind of, if Wander is pure white, Dominator is pure black, Hater would be darkish, in the beginning of the series, he would be darkish gray and slowly moving towards lighter gray. Actually, by this point now, he is about lighter gray. He is about lighter gray. He is past the midpoint, and he's kind of... No, he's not past the... Well, he's kind of past the midpoint. He's still on the midpoint, but closer to the white... Closer to the middle. Closer to the lighter side than the dark side. And I say that because from what we know is... Let's think of it this way. Wander, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Wander set out to be good, and in this turn, he met friends with Sylvia and made Sylvia good or better, quote unquote better. Then you have Dominator. She set out on her own to do what she needed to become the strongest, so she could destroy everything, so she can make everyone cry. And then Hater, I feel, is... There was probably a moment himself where he felt bullied, where he felt kind of helpless. And he set out to do something similar. He set out, and he was probably kind of possibly the wimp. He was probably the wimp until he probably met Peepers. Where then meeting Peepers, because Peepers is basically who helps Hater who picks Hater up. These two were the outsiders also. These two got picked on. And Hater probably would have probably was a wimp. He probably was like the stereotypical, again, I'm not anything bad, nothing against nerds or anything. I'm a freaking nerd. Look at that freaking shelf. You have Doctor Who, you have Star Wars, you have Ben 10, you have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All I need is freaking Star Trek, and I'm the freaking stereotypical nerd. All I need is glasses. And the only reason why I don't have those is because I have contacts. Comic books? That's out screen, but yeah. But Hater probably was a wimp also. He was probably a wimp. He probably felt at one point helpless as well. But probably what made him probably better is probably him, I'm assuming, probably protecting Peepers, and then Peepers following him around, and Peepers hyping him up, saying, "Wow, you're so great," and the two making their friendship and saying that they want to become strong to they want to become stronger to basically kind of what is it? Like, you know, the whole saying, like, watch out because that nerd will become your boss type deal. Kind of something like that, where Hater and Peepers wanted to show everyone, hey, wanted to show the bullies, hey, now I'm above you. You can't do anything to me because I'm above you. Wow. Dominator and Peepers, I feel like Peepers and Hater, like, maybe also it could be just Hater's personality that keeps him from going completely dark. Well, no, because in the beginning of the series, he was pretty dark. But you see, like, he's trying to do this more for being cool. He's trying to do this so he can be seen as, so everyone, like, bows down to him. He wants to be higher than the bullies that he basically got. Which, mind you, it's still bad, but still. He wants to be higher than the bullies that beat him up, basically. And again, I'm theorizing all this. While Dominator herself just wants to destroy it. And she has nothing to also help her, in a sense, or balance her out. Because even so, like, if you think about it, actually, if you think about it, Peepers is probably what keeps Hater probably a little bit towards the dark side, but also still keeps him balanced out a bit. Or if he goes too dark, he kind of brings him back, probably. Because, like how Sylvia is the protector of Wander, Sylvia makes sure Wander, in all his whiteness, and all of him being good, he doesn't go so good that he goes supernova and explodes. Or the better term, doesn't get killed by anything because he's trying to help a dinosaur that's going to chew his head off. Which I think is actually an episode. Sylvia is the balancer for Wander. And I brought this up multiple times about, like, how there's always how the two main how Hater and Wander both have, you know, their balancers. Peepers is Hater's balancer, where if Hater needs a pick me up, if Hater needs something that tells him, like, if he asks, like, why am I doing this? And I guess that you could say that's kind of him going a little bit lighter, like, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this. I don't need to be evil. Peepers is the one who says, no, this is why you need to do this. This is why you need to be evil. And Peepers kind of picks him up to continue his campaign. Dominator doesn't have anything. Dominator is completely on black. Any darker and she'll become a Heartless. Which she's already halfway there with the heart emblem on her chest. But she is straight on black. Like, if anything, she needs something that can pull, like, and if she keeps on going, she's just going to keep going darker. She's just going to destroy everything. If she needed something, or she needed something in her past, or possibly needs something now, that would have pulled her away from the darkness. If she, at that point where she was helpless and miserable, I mean, she chose to go down this dark path, she needed someone to pull her towards the light, pull her towards the white. If they did, she probably would have either been good, or she probably would have been somewhat similar to Hater, to where she was more balanced out, more going through light, where she probably would have been a conqueror instead of a destroyer. But she never had that. She never had this, so her status went all the way to black, thus making her who she is now, the darker half. But again, this is all a theory. These are all theories that I'm just throwing out there, theories that I kind of pieced together from watching the show. And I have watched, I think, a majority of the episodes. Maybe I missed a few in season 1, but I've seen basically all of season 2. I don't think I've missed any of season 2. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. It's about 17 minutes. I don't have to go any further on that, but it's fun. It's a fun show. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out for yourselves. It's an amazing show. I don't want in the end, I don't want Dominator to, like, well, I doubt she would die, but also I don't want her to leave. I don't want her to leave the show, because she is an awesome character. And again, like, there's a whole thing where she's trying to be evil, where she says that she is the bad guy. And she is the bad guy. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of, maybe less than the Joker, because the Joker himself is kind of he always wants to be the bad guy. He wants to be the opposite of Batman. While Batman is order, Joker is just pure and utter chaos. And that's an awesome thing that I like. I like that. And that's kind of how this is too, but it's just Dominator never. My theory is that Dominator just never had the thing that would pull her towards the light. Because I would think Hater, again, like, Hater is in the grayish area, because he even, like, at one point gives up on being a bad guy because he doesn't see any fun in it, or he doesn't see anything he can get out of it. But Peepers pulls him towards the darkness, and that kind of making that kind of balance out a bit to where he then keeps on moving forward. Wander is the let me think. I'll end the video soon, but, like, Wander is the straight force of good. Without Sylvia, he would still be a wanderer. He would still be trying to help the world. With Sylvia, he pulls Sylvia along to make her better. But also, Sylvia tries to help keep him away from his goodness, killing himself. Hater, if he didn't have Peepers to pull him out of his slumps, or pull him out to, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this and stuff? Hater would probably do nothing. He'd probably just slump around and do nothing. Heck, he'd probably be like that one dude at that Space 7-Eleven who just like sits down in his job and just reads magazines all day. But Peepers pulls him towards doing something, pulls him towards the darkness, I guess, to try to, do something. Peepers basically kind of sees potential in Hater, which Hater has a lot, especially since he's like one of the strongest characters. So he went toe to toe with Dominator in the Battle Royale, and then you have Dominator again, who's just on the other side of the spectrum. How Wander's a straight force for good that will always be moving. Dominator's a force of just destruction that will keep on moving also until she destroys everything. But either way, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think about this theory video. I'm not really sure even if this was a theory video. I think it was, but tell me what you guys think. It was pretty... she is, again, one of my favorite characters. And I definitely want to see more. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Please check out all my videos. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and we will. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will. See you later.